folks, welcome back to the Redeemed Marriage Podcast. Rusty and Heather Bryant, we're so excited to be back with you again today. We've got a fun episode ahead for you, and there's a lot of things going through our head right now because of an upcoming wedding. Makes us think a lot about, we're like less than 2 weeks away. Our oldest son, for those
11 days. When you listen to this, it's 11 days.
Yeah, so our oldest son's getting married, so there's a lot going on. We are opting to not do heavy podcast episodes at this moment in our life, and so hope you guys enjoy not a break. We don't always do heavy things, but I know that a lot of you come on here because you really want that encouragement and hope for restoration and redemption of your marriage. You love hearing our story because of what you know that God can do for your own marriage, and so we're really sensitive to that, and we like to share that. But at the same time, we know that there's a lot of other people that listen to our podcast that's not your story, and you just want some marriage advice, and so. We, from time to time, we like to do some fun, lighter things, and so our son's wedding's coming up. It's made us think a lot about our wedding from years ago. It's made us think a lot about dating and engagement and leading up to it. Not only that, but we have a couple of our favorite pastors are doing sermon series right now on marriage and dating,
relationships,
relationships in general. And then we did last week we did our mentoring group where we went through and we had some fun with some old nostalgic songs from the 80s where we grew up. And so what this has actually caused us to do is because also we're going to a big concert tonight.
Yeah, we are.
So on the day that we're recording this, we're actually going to see Chicago tonight, and it's going to be
the Broadway play.
Not the Broadway play. And so some of you, our younger listeners, are going, "Who is Chicago?" But those of you that are right there in our sweet spot, about the same age as us, you're like, "Oh, yeah, Chicago." And in your mind, you're going, "You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. Wanna have you near me." I want to have you. I didn't plan that, so I didn't know what kind of key I was really going for
and
there.
I was like, well, that's a little bit too low for me.
But man, so we're super excited about that. Probably thinking back on that song, I bet we have kissed more to that song than any song out there. So
funny.
Hopefully people will turn away when that song comes on tonight
I am not kissing you at a concert.
There might be a kiss cam.
No.
But we're excited. And so one of the things that it has caused us to do is really think back and be a little bit nostalgic. And so looking back on kind of our dating years, and as we started thinking about that, we just started thinking about how different dating is now. And not too long ago, probably within the last year or so, we did an entire podcast on the differences in dating through the years. But we went all the way back to like the 50s and 60s.
Like courting and
kind of some dating terms.
Yep.
But I don't know that we've ever just really jumped in just to our era of dating and what we did when we were dating and just really looked at how different things are. And not only how different things are in dating, but how our lives are so different, and it causes a lot of issues even in our marriage, because I think that back then there was a simpler time, and it wasn't that we necessarily did relationships better than we do them now. It's just that we had to be more intentional.
Sure.
And so now what's happening is the convenience of the world has sort of made the intentionality just kind of be pushed off to the side. And so I think what our goal for this is, we're going to bring up some things from our dating past that was just a normal part of dating back then, and how if you took those principles of how that worked and you put them into your marriage today, that your marriage could probably be better.
Yeah.
Because there were some things that we just did better back then.
Yeah, we did because we had to. There wasn't an option of doing it different.
Yeah, so those of you that might remember back in the day,
Yeah.
let's just
What's
go
the first
let's
one?
just go straight to the whole phone call thing. Like we
Yes.
actually had to call each other on the phone. And I know some of you are going, well, we still call each other on the phone. But no. We had the cords and we had the, where we were having to hide in closets and stuff. So
To have a private conversation.
but I even thought about this. Do you remember like when we would call each other and your parents would answer and you would have to speak to the other person?
And speak to a grown-up.
Yes.
And that's real hard nowadays.
Yeah. So just like the whole, like that was really intentional because now, even us, we do call each other a good bit, but texting is just more convenient a lot of times.
Yeah, and it's convenient because you don't have to worry about what the other person's doing. If it's not a good time, they don't have, they can wait and text back. But I can remember you saying things like, okay, I'll call you at 9:00.
Yeah, you would be really specific on.
Yeah. And I'd be like, okay,
because I
I'll be
wanted
home.
to know that you were there
Yeah.
and we could have an actual long conversation.
Right. Because it would be like, okay, I have this, this, and this, but I should be home by 9.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, oh, call me when I'm in line at Chick-fil-A and we can talk then.
Yeah.
It was the day is over. I'll be home at 9:00 and then we can talk.
Well, you think about like conversations now. Most of our conversations happen in like busy, crazy places.
With
we're
things going on.
shopping. We're at Walmart. We're in line, like you said, at Chick-fil-A drive-through. We're in Kroger. Whatever's happening, and there's so much going on, and yet we're trying to have a conversation. But back then, it was real. It was like we are going to talk, and we just would talk, and sometimes we wouldn't even talk. We just sit there. But I thought about the phone.
That's
so the
funny.
phone is obviously a big deal because now there's constant communication, which can be good, but there's also really, really shallow communication.
And you can be like, hey, I want to have a conversation tonight about something. What do you mean? We've been talking all day through text messages. No, like a real conversation.
Yeah. So also thinking about the phone, these first couple 2 or 3 are going to be about the phone, but another one is, what about the anticipation of waiting by the phone for your girlfriend or boyfriend to call you? And I can remember even like just when we would go home at night, sitting there by the phone waiting. Call me when you get home so I'll know that you're safe.
Sure you're safe.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there because you're like, okay, it's late. Everybody's going to be asleep in my house. I got to grab that phone
real quick,
really fast
so don't wake anybody
don't
up.
wake people up, and so there was that whole business. I think even just the anticipation of I hope that you call.
Yeah.
Like I really hope that you call today.
And I can even remember like talking to other friends and be like, yeah, I don't think, I'm not saying you, but friends, we would say, I don't think he really wants to go out anymore because he hadn't called me in like 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But now everything is just so constant. And so I think it does. It reduces that whole buildup and the anticipation, the excitement of it, because everything's just the immediate, texting, or nowadays people are doing Snapchat and stuff. But even for us, I think that it's just because there's an immediate, anytime we want to, there's an immediate communication.
Yeah. What about with that phone? Same thing, locations. Like, I know where you are at all times now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we didn't know. It was like, oh, where have you been? And you get to tell them about your day.
You get to talk about it. But
let me tell
instead,
you
we can stalk each other and we know exactly what we've been doing.
I know you left work, you went to Kroger, and then you went to Home Depot to your home. So you don't even have to tell me about your day. I got it.
It's sad. Some of that, it really is sad because, we just kind of know. And there's great things about it. And we talk to couples all the time about communication and staying in touch with each other and communicating throughout the day. And there are ways even to, I guess, combat the whole anticipation thing, because you can flirt and you can, you can make the anticipation of coming home and being together. So there's ways to do that. But I guess what I'm saying is, be intentional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
that's what
it's
we're
not,
missing.
and that's what I was going to say. You said it's sad. And really, like, it doesn't have to be sad. It's just different.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do now that it's different? That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I hate when people are like, "Oh, I just wish it was like it used to be."
Right.
It's not.
It's
so
not.
let's figure
Take
out a new way to
advantage
do
of it.
it.
Yeah.
Let's do it differently
Yeah.
but better.
And I guess that's what I want us to get at here is that the things that we did, what did they make better about
Right.
our relationship?
Right.
And so far what we're talking about is communication and the intentionality
That's
of
right.
communication.
That's right.
And
the
so
excitement of it.
yeah, so what about anybody out there remember answering machines by chance? And I know that now we have voicemail.
Nobody does that.
Oh, and how mad do we get when somebody actually leaves us a freaking voicemail?
Just
It's
say,
like,
"Call me back."
call me back, or just leave me a text message
Or
that
the
says,
other
call me.
night, our future daughter-in-law, I think my voice text says, I don't even know what my voice message says, but it
Yeah.
says you've reached Heather. If you need me, leave a message. And I was like, she left me a voice message, and all it said was no, because she didn't want me to have to, call her back. She
Yeah.
wanted me to answer right then.
Yeah. But I mean, we used to have to come in and hit the little tape recorder
Yep.
and listen to the voice to the answer machine message, and then we would save some of
Yeah,
them because
they
some
were
of them were
sweet
sweet
and
and they were
important.
nice.
Or we would get home and be like, I got to get home and delete that
God, delete that
message
thing.
before a parent hears it.
Oh man. So
Yep.
yeah. So those, I think it's just, again, it's the whole, everything is just quick. There's just not a lot of let's chill and enjoy communication with each
Right.
other. So another one, man, when is the last time you wrote a letter or a note, something handwritten, and gave it to your? I have a box of notes, and you won't let me read them
No.
because you're like, I was so stupid. I was immature.
Stupid and immature and jealous and all
Yeah,
the things.
but I have a box up in our closet that's got notes
we should burn those before the children find them. What if we died and they were like,
I
let's
think
clean out my look at this
don't think they
box.
would read them. I really don't.
Really?
Oh no, they'd be like, throw those away. But if they might read one
And
and
be
then
like,
they go, oh, okay, let's definitely throw those away. But we just would keep those things. I mean, it's been 30 something years and we still have notes and cards, and now it's just the DMs and the texts, and when you don't save them because
Yes, I do. When I do. When the boys or you or somebody sends me an encouraging note, I screenshot it.
well,
Because I'm
okay,
like, I
okay.
do want to keep that.
Okay,
I want to
okay.
remember that he loved me once. Not you. I'm talking about one of the kids.
okay. Well, that's fair.
yeah.
And
That's being intentional.
yes, and so the thing that we would encourage there is, back then it took a lot of time.
Right.
And I think that's the thing. It took time, it took effort, but now we don't even want to take the time and effort to send a text that's nice.
That's right.
And it's literally at our fingertips
Yep.
all the time,
Yep.
but we don't take the time to do it.
Not too long ago, maybe 3 years, I got a note from my principal that just said, I see you working hard.
She was spying on you? I see you.
No, she wrote me a letter, a note, just that everything looked so good and she was so proud of me and blah, 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 blah. I still have that thing pinned up on my bulletin board in my office because it meant the world to me that she took the time. And it was just on like one of the little notepads from her office. It's not like it was in an envelope and all that. It was just a note.
Yeah.
And she put it on my desk. And that just is... It just takes, like you said, it takes time. Because honestly, it takes me 2 seconds to send a text because I voice text all the time. And I'm like, tell Rusty, blah, 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 blah. And that takes no time but to be like, I need to find a piece of paper and a pen. Ooh, let me choose a pretty colored pen and write this note. It just takes time and effort.
Yeah. And used to, when you would write me notes, that they might smell like your perfume or something.
Oh, my dear. And I'd kiss the corner. Remember that? I would kiss the corner with my lipstick. Yeah, baby.
Well, just send me a lip emoji. I'll get it.
I love it. That's
Okay,
funny.
so speaking of the Chicago concert and you're the inspiration, how about mixtapes, you know?
Yes.
And the thing is about mixtapes, and you can say, oh, well, now you can just do a playlist. Yeah, you can. It's great. But we used to have to sit by the radio and wait for the song, or even call in and request the song.
And then hit record.
And then you would sit there and hit play and record at the same time. And you'd have to listen to the whole thing and then stop it. And that's the first song on your mixtape. But you know, it was very intentional. It took time. It took effort. We waited on the songs. It was really personal. And, you know, now things like that, it's just, again, instant, very easy, less effort involved, but you can make it something, because it is right there at your fingertips. So what's the playlist? You know, what's the playlist that you and your spouse have for each other that make you think about each other? I mean, there are songs that when they come on, I think about us at the skating rink, you know, or I think about us when we're dating. And so those things are just really important. And so don't miss that. Don't pass over that. Okay. So how about, just actual planning of dates, because I think that in the dating world today, there's a lot of hanging out going on, and there's not a lot of being intentional. And I think that carries over into our marriage too, where we just kind of hang out. And obviously, you're married, you're doing life with your spouse. It's fine to have times of hanging out, but we also need to do some really thoughtful and thought-provoking, purposeful plans for each other, because it reminds each other of how special we are.
We have two couples in our mentoring group. That I just love how they do it. One couple, they go out twice a month, and even if you just did this once monthly, you could rotate. But he plans one date and then she plans the other. So intentional and purposeful.
Yeah, it's fun.
The other one, they put a bunch of ideas, date night ideas, into a jar, and then they pull one out each time it's time for them to have a date night. Both of those are creative, and they're also very, very purposeful and intentional. And so I just think that that's a great way to do dating or date nights.
So I know when we were dating, and don't come at us and judge us, but we loved going to the movies.
Yeah, we did.
And, you know, we would go to the matinees and pay, you know, a lot cheaper. And we'd go,
Back then, they didn't check your purse. And so I'd take in popcorn and candy.
Yeah.
Now they check your purse. So
see,
rude.
That's no good. But those were things that were really event-based and shared experiences. And now, I don't know. I don't feel like, I mean, we still have movie theaters, but I don't feel like people go to movies that much,
Not
because
as
you
much.
can just watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch every single movie that's ever been made anytime you want to. And so that's when it becomes the whole hanging out and just Netflix, you know, watching Netflix. And
because can't you pay like $29
and just watch the
watch
movie
it at
that's on?
home?
A lot of them, I think you can.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But
I
even
love a movie
But I
theater.
even think that, you know, another thing that's different today is that you've got TV shows. People won't watch shows now that come out every week, because they're like, we ain't watching something every
or
week.
they'll wait until they're all out.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm doing right now with Away Home, the last season on Hallmark.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't anticipate it every single week. I'm just going to wait until they're all out, and then I'll just binge watch them.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think the TV shows, that's a very different thing that goes on now, because we used to, if there was a show that we enjoyed watching,
we had to be on Thursday night for friends.
Yeah, it's like a date. I mean, we got to get together. We'll be in
Or
front of the
record
TV
it.
and watch. Well, that's true. There was that too. Okay, this one's kind of crazy. I made a list. So if you're watching on YouTube, I've got a list of some things, and that's why I'm going through it. But what about like photos and printed?
Yeah, you had to wait till you picked them up
and
at the
like
Walgreens.
you went to dances and stuff, and you'd have these nice photos. And then they would have to wait, and you'd have to wait for them. And so there was the anticipation. But then you would take them and put them in scrapbooks and do all the little fancy, you know, writing on them and stuff. And now they just show up in the thousands and thousands of photos. You know, sometimes we look at them and sometimes we don't. I don't know. I mean, how special. I just remember going to Walgreens and, you know, getting your little envelope full of, and you'd flip through them, and half of them were terrible. But then
Just
there was
hope you
some
got
that
a
was
good
like, oh,
one.
that's such a great picture. And you know, now
You take it and then you're like, is it good? Check your hair.
check
Oh,
it,
wait,
check-
do it
oh,
again.
no,
Let me
do
pull
it
my
again.
hair.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then now people these days, and it is driving, they go,
These days.
they give me they'll get my phone. Here, use my phone. And I'm getting, and I'm like, there's 50 pictures and every one of
I
them
just
looks
needed
exactly the
one.
same.
I just needed one
And like,
picture.
who's gonna go and look at all 50 of those things? I'm just like, boom, 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 delete, delete, delete. But yeah, it's just a different time. I thought about too. Have you thought of any? Do you want to jump in?
You're doing great.
Thanks. Write me a letter and tell me how great I am. I thought about this. One of the things that we used to like to do together just for fun and just to hang out was to go shopping without a reason.
Yeah, we had no money.
Yeah, we didn't have any money, but nobody shops. They go to Amazon. I mean, we used to go to a mall, and there are malls, but not really. I mean, they're different now.
Yeah.
But we used to go and just walk around and pick out things, or say we liked things. But now nobody does that. You just go to Amazon. Who's got time to go to the mall? We just get it and bring them right to us.
I mean, I ordered like 6 dresses and kept one of them for the rehearsal dinner and just sent the rest
other ones back. Yeah,
it's way easier.
We didn't go shopping for it. So, yeah, but it's just that, intentional time spent together, having a shared experience, and those things. Yeah, we just kind of we replace those with the convenience of what's happening now. All right, this one's a huge one. We actually used to go on dates. We actually used to get in the car, and we'd go on dates, and we didn't have a phone at all.
Yeah.
So we would sit in the car. We would either have to sing music or we would have to talk. Nobody's
Playing games.
Nobody's playing a game.
Scrolling
Nobody's
through
scrolling
Instagram.
through social media. Then when we get to the restaurant or whatever we're doing, there was never we were just together. That's weird, right? I mean, nobody does that now. I mean, you go somewhere and there's always a
look
distraction.
around the restaurant
next
time you go and see how many people are just on their phones instead of. And this could be a soapbox item. I get it, but seriously, just be mindful of that. The amount of time that you're on your phone at dinner versus just sitting and having a conversation.
And I think most of the time we grab our phones just out of habit, and it actually has nothing to do with. There's nothing we want to see. There's nothing we're interested in. It's just a habit because we're just so distracted. We have to keep ourselves distracted
and entertained.
And that's the thing. Back in the day, there was just not a lot of it was a lot of undistracted time.
Right.
There wasn't as much distraction. And so, you go on a date, you get in the car, you have your full attention. And I mean, we were just completely locked in. We were driving in the car together. We were together. We were on a date or shopping or whatever. We were just
So just try
together.
to be mindful of that and be purposeful in that time together.
So you said something early on in this conversation about how, you could go 3 days without hearing from each other. And I think that our time was very limited back in the day. And it was limited to how much we would see each other or could see each other. Where now people feel like you've been together. Even if you're miles and miles apart, you can get on FaceTime. You feel like you feel like you're together.
Which is so great.
And you can be together all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that we felt like we valued the time that we had. And maybe we were a little more jealous back then too, because it was like this is the only time we have to be together.
Right.
But now you really can connect anytime. And so it feels a little less special. And so, it's just going back to the value your time together and don't take advantage of the fact that you can connect anytime.
Right. Because I remember when Luke and Cameron were dating and she was in North Carolina and he was in Oregon State. I mean, like the FaceTime, that kept their relationship going, you know, and they would watch TV shows together and have date nights together over FaceTime. So there's some really, really, really good things about it. But it's also just not losing the fact that when you are together, like physically, you're in the same place, that's just special too.
Yep. I think the biggest thing, the central theme of this is in earlier eras, our era of dating, the intentionality was kind of built in.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Had to be.
Yeah. And now it's something that you actually have to choose.
Yeah.
And so that's the big thing, is that choose intentionality, choose to be intentional, and choose to pursue your spouse. It doesn't end when you've stopped dating and you get married. And so be intentional, choose that intentionality, and watch your marriage and enjoy the way that it used to be too.
That's right. You know, one of the things when we were talking about this topic that I started thinking about is, yes, we were so much more intentional then. Because we had to be. And there was excitement over a phone call and excitement about a date night. But I also wouldn't trade the comfortableness of you being my person, like just being, you know, laying and watching TV and enjoying things together and sitting at dinner and talking. And I think that there's something to be said in marriage about that we're comfortable with each other and we're each other's person, and that's special. And so, yes, all of these nostalgia, whatever things that we've been talking about are so good and so important, and do them. But you can do them while you're resting in the fact that you're with your person, and it's okay to be comfortable in that.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're my person.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you're mine too. All right. Hey, thanks for listening, guys.
See
you
next
next time.
Next week will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days away from the wedding.
It'll be here before we know it.
So exciting.
All right.
All right. See y'all next time.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
Hope for your heart, healing for your home. The Redeemed Marriage Podcast.